So, good morning, children. Today, our new lesson is lesson number 3, synthetic fibers and plastics. So, in this lesson, we are going to study natural fiber, what is meant by natural fiber, and examples of natural fiber. Synthetic fiber, what is meant by synthetic fiber, and examples of synthetic fiber. Petrochemicals, what is meant by petrochemicals. Polymer, what is meant by polymer. Types of synthetic fibers, rayon, nylon. That means this all is types of synthetic fibers. Okay, rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic, etc. And what is plastics. So about this we are going to study in this lesson. Okay, so first let's start with our types of fibers. Types of fiber. Fibers are divided into two types, that is natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So what is mean by natural fibers means some of the fibers are made naturally. We are not making that. We are not manufacturing some fibers. Okay, fibers like cotton, wool, silk, jute, we are not manufacturing. So this kind of fibers are obtained from the plants and animals. Such type of fibers are known as natural fibers. That means fibers which are obtained from plants and animals are called natural fibers. Now coming to synthetic fibers, some fibers are man-made in the industries. Such type of fibers are known as synthetic fibers. So definition of synthetic fibers is fibers which are man-made are called synthetic fibers. Examples of synthetic fibers are nylon, acrylic, etc. are examples of the synthetic fibers. A synthetic fiber is made from multiple units of chemical substances. Okay, in the starting one you told that the synthetic fibers are man-made in the industries or manufactured in the industries. Okay, we are artificially making that. So this fiber how we are getting means by adding the many of the small units of a chemical substance we are getting this synthetic fibers. The units in the fiber are joined together like a chain. If you see one chain, many of the small units are joined together forming a chain. Like that only in this synthetic fiber also many of the units joined together forms a chain like structure, that is synthetic fiber. Now coming to petrochemicals. What is petrochemical is almost all the synthetic fibers are man-made. Okay, we told. So synthetic fibers are man-made. Okay, so almost all the synthetic fibers are made using a raw materials from petroleum. Okay, so now I am making synthetic fiber. Synthetic fiber is man-made. So for when I am manufacturing that synthetic fiber, raw material for that synthetic fiber is petroleum. So such raw materials which come from petroleum are called petrochemicals. Okay, so the synthetic fibers or the raw materials which come from the petroleum are called petrochemicals. Okay, now see synthetic material is manufactured using raw materials from the petroleum. That raw materials are known as petrochemicals. Okay, now coming to polymer. What is meant by polymer is a chain of particular chemical substances is called polymer. Before also we told that synthetic fiber means it is the joined units together to form a chain. Coming to polymer, polymer is same chain only. This is also joined by small units. The individual unit in polymer is called monomer. That means, so in the polymer means many of the units are there. Okay, all the units joined together forming polymer. Okay, so individually one unit is known as one monomer. So here see, this is one small unit, this is another small unit, this is one small unit. So all these small units joined together forming one polymer. Okay, each small unit is known as one monomer. That means one monomer unit, another one monomer unit is joined to second monomer unit is joined to another. Like this, a network of monomer units are joined. That means many of the monomer units join forming one polymer. Polymer means a chain of particular chemical substances is called polymer. The individual unit of polymer is called monomer. Thus a polymer is made up of many monomers. All synthetic fibers are polymers. Even cotton is also a polymer. Okay, now one I shown each one unit is known as monomer. Many of the monomer units joined together forming one polymer. Okay, now coming to types of synthetic fibers. What are the types of synthetic fibers? Rayon is one type of synthetic fiber. Rayon is discovered towards the end of 19th century. So before this discovery or before this 19th century, there is no rayon, and at the end of the towards the end of the 19th century discovered a synthetic fiber known as rayon. It was named by chemical treatment of wood pulp and was first synthetic fiber. Rayon was the first synthetic fiber, and it was manufactured by treating the wood pulp. Okay, so before we studied synthetic fibers are made from the petrochemicals, but here this rayon, it is not made from the petrochemical. It is the only synthetic fiber which is made from the wood pulp. Okay, so wood pulp will be there. So this wood pulp will be treated with chemicals and will form a synthetic fiber known as rayon, and rayon is the first synthetic fiber. And this rayon appears to be similar to the silk, and hence rayon is called poor man's silk. Rayon can be dyed in various colors. Rayon is usually mixed with cotton to make bedsheet and dress materials. Next synthetic material is nylon. Nylon was made in the year 1931. The term nylon was derived from the letters of New York and London. Here, this is the rayon is manufactured from the treating the wooden pulp. But coming to the nylon, no ingredients from the plant or animal source are used in nylon. It is used from coal, water and air. That means coal, water. Coal is one of the petroleum products. So it is made from the coal, water and air. Hence nylon is called the first truly synthetic fiber. Rayon is one first synthetic material, but it is made from wood pulp. But coming to this nylon, nylon is the first truly synthetic material because it is not made from any of the plant and animal ingredient. Nylon is strong, light and elastic when compared to the rayon. It is lustrous and easy to wash. Nylon is used in many articles like socks, bags, toothbrush, rope, sneakers, parachutes, etc. How much strong it is means, if you take the nylon thread for the same thickness, this nylon thread is stronger than a steel wire. Okay, one thing you want to remember, of the same thickness. Okay, so I will take two threads. One is nylon thread, at the same with the same thickness I will take steel thread. Okay, so if you compare both of them, nylon thread is stronger than the steel thread. Next synthetic fiber is polyester. Polyester is made by repeating units of chemicals called ester. Terylene is a popular polyester which is used in dress materials. PET means polyethylene terephthalate is example of polyester. It is used for making bottles, utensils, films, wires and many other items. Polyester fabrics do not wrinkle easily and are easy to wash. Okay, so this is the one of the best quality for the polyester, that is polyester fabrics do not wrinkle easily and are easy to wash. Polyester is easy. Our next synthetic fiber is acrylic. Acrylic resembles wool and hence is called synthetic wool. Okay, polyester is resembling to the polyester, it is made up of repeating units of chemical called ester. But coming to acrylic, acrylic resembles to the wool and hence is called synthetic wool. Okay, it is not natural wool, it is synthetic wool. Rayon, it is resembling to the silk. Okay, but it is cheaper than the silk because it is man-made. But coming to the acrylic, acrylic is resembling the wool and it is known as the synthetic wool. Okay, it is cheaper, more durable than the wool and is easier to wash and maintain. So these are some of the synthetic types of synthetic fibers. Now coming to characteristics of synthetic fibers. Characteristics of synthetic fibers are: synthetic fibers are less expensive. Synthetic fibers, they are readily available. They can be washed easily. They are easy to maintain. So these are some of the characters of synthetic fibers. So what are the characters of synthetic fibers is, they are less expensive, they are readily available, they can be easily washed, they are easy to maintain. Okay, so this is about synthetic fibers. Now come to the plastic. Plastic is also a polymer. Not only synthetic fibers, plastic also a polymer, but arrangement of units is different in different types of plastics. Okay, so arrangement of monomer units, it may be differ from one plastic to the other type of plastics. In some plastics, the individual units are linked in linear fashion. Some other plastics, the individual units are cross-linked. So coming to some plastics, the linkage between each unit. So this is one unit, this is second unit, this is one more unit, third unit. So the linkage between all the units, it may be linear. If it is linear, it will form one kind of plastic. In some plastics, cross linkages may be present. Then it will form another kind of plastic. So that is the difference between the plastics. That means some of them are cross-linked and some are linked in linear fashion. Types of plastics. So there are two types of plastics are there. That is, some of the plastics are thermoplastics and some of the plastics are thermosetting plastics. So what is thermoplastics and what is thermosetting plastic is, some plastics easily get deformed on heating and can be easily bent and reshaped by heating. That means now I made into one plastic. So this is one pen. So if you think, example I am saying, okay, this is one pen. So this pen, I will heat it. On heating, what will happen? It can easily bend. Really, it is not, it cannot be bent, okay? Or you take one plastic water bottle, okay? When we heat that bottle, it can be easily bent. So the type of plastic, some plastics if we see, when we heat also, we cannot bend them. That means maybe its shape totally disappear, but it cannot be bent. So the type of plastics in which can be easily deformed, or the type of plastics which can be easily deformed and molded into new shape when they are heated. Such type of plastics are known as thermosetting plastics, and bakelite and melamine are examples of these thermosetting plastics. Sorry. Once again I am repeating. Thermoplastic means some plastics easily get deformed on heating and can be easily bent and reshaped by heating. Such type of plastics are known as thermoplastics. Polythene and PVC are examples of thermoplastics. Thermoplastics are used in making of combs, toys, buckets, mugs, etc. Okay, now you take one example, you take one bucket, okay? When I take one bucket and if I heat that bucket, what will happen? Its shape will be changed and it will comes to a, again I can make it into a new shape. Same thing like comb also, okay? So some plastics easily get deformed on heating. Such type of plastics are known as thermoplastics. Now coming to the second type, thermosetting plastics. Some plastics do not get deformed easily on heating and cannot be remolded into new shapes. Such plastics are known as thermosetting plastics. Bakelite and melamine are examples of thermosetting plastics. Bakelite is used in making electrical switches and switchboards because of it is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Melamine is resistant to fire and is hence used for making utensils. Okay, now if you see plastic which is present on the handles of utensils, okay, it is made up of melamine. Okay, melamine is a thermosetting plastic. Here melamine is a thermosetting plastic. Okay, once again I am saying melamine is a thermosetting plastic. So how can you say that thermosetting plastic means? If you take that plastic handle and if you heat it, it will not deform easily and it cannot be converted into the new shape. Once it is molded means it cannot be made into the new shape. Such type of plastics are known as thermosetting plastics, and examples of thermosetting plastics are bakelite and melamine. Okay, bakelite is used for making electric switches and switchboards, and coming to the melamine, it is used for making melamine is fire resistant. It is used for making the utensils. Okay, so our next topic is reasons for popularity of plastic. Why this plastic is this much popular means plastic is non-reactive. Unlike iron, if you take iron and if you place in the water, what will happen means this iron will be rusted. Okay, that means iron will react easily with the air and water, or iron will react with air and water. But coming to this plastic will not react with air and water. That means rust, it will not form rust. Due to this, plastic has replaced many of the iron articles. Plastic does not react with many of the chemicals, not only with the air and rust, it will not react with many of the chemicals. That is the reason why so many of plastic containers are used for keeping many of the materials and chemicals. Okay, if you see in our kitchen, many of the items are stored in these plastic containers. What is the reason? Means it will not react with the material easily. Not only that, next quality is plastic is light, strong and durable. So this plastic, it is light when compared to the other materials. It is lightweight, it is strong and durable also. Nowadays in our homes we are containing plastic chairs. Before that we are containing wooden chairs. When plastic came, plastic is strong and durable and lightweight. So this plastic replaced the wooden chairs of the households. Not only that, wooden crates have been replaced by plastic crates for keeping milk and cool drinks. Most of the warehouses now we use plastic pellets for keeping goods. One more quality of plastic is bad conductor. That is, plastic is poor conductor of heat and electricity. Because of poor conductivity to heat and electricity, plastic is used for making switches and many components of electrical appliances. Handles of utensils are made of plastic because such handles do not heat up. That is, what is that material which is used for making the utensil handles is melamine, because it is resistant to fire. Okay, so handles of utensils are made of plastic because they do not heat up easily. Then now coming to the environmental issue, plastic and environment. Based on this, materials can be, or plastic we can say, some of them are biodegradable and some of them are non-biodegradable. So what is meant by biodegradable is a material which can be decomposed by microbes is called biodegradable. Okay, that means now I am having some material, or that means I am having some cotton or paper or some leftover food. Okay, if I am leaving that, after some days, what will happen means some microorganisms will act on that, and after acting, all the food will be decomposed. That means what is happening, the food is decomposed there. Okay, so the material like that only, some other material also decompose. The material which can be decomposed by microbes is called biodegradable material. Examples are jute, cotton, paper, leftover food. Some of the materials are non-biodegradable. So what are that non-biodegradable materials is a material which cannot be decomposed by microbes called non-biodegradable material. That means biodegradable means material should be decomposed by microbes. But coming to here, non-biodegradable means material which cannot be decomposed by microbes is called non-biodegradable materials. And examples of non-biodegradable materials are plastic, iron, copper, etc. Okay, now I will take iron. Can we degrade the iron? Any of the microorganism used for degrading iron? No, iron cannot be degraded. Then non-biodegradable nature of plastic poses a big problem. Okay, so this plastic means plastic cannot be biodegradable. Okay, plastic is non-biodegradable. Okay, so the nature of plastic is non-biodegradable. This one is a big problem to the environment. That means plastic has become very popular nowadays because of its benefits. But the popularity of plastic is proving to be curse to the environment, because plastic waste is getting accumulated all around the world. So this plastic waste is getting accumulated all around us in the world, in the street, sidewalks, in the drains, everywhere it is accumulating. Okay, so not only that, it is causing a big burden to the waste on the earth. If we burn that plastic, it is polluting the air, and if it is mixed in the soil, it is causing soil pollution, water pollution, like this. Okay, nuisance of plastic bags. Plastic bags keeps accumulating in the environment. It chokes the drains. Stray animals can die if accidentally swallows the plastic bag. So how to tackle the problem of plastic waste? How should we tackle the plastic? Plastic is useful, okay, one hand. On the other hand, usage of it more than needed, it is causing so much problem. So how to overcome that problem is, we should follow the triple R principle. What is that 3R is? One R stands for reduce, second R stands for reuse, third R stands for recycle. So we should follow this: reduce, reuse and recycle. So that means what should we do means, so where we can reduce the usage of plastic, we should reduce that. We should use which can be reused, plastics or any materials which can be reused, at the same time which can be recycled. So this is the completion of our lesson. Let's see our next lesson.